there are a lot of ways to defend mobile quarterbacks. It doesn't seem like the 49ers have found any of them yet. They're searching. You're a defensive coach. What are some ways that you would that you feel confident defending mobile quarterbacks? What are your go-tos?
I think what the struggle is, right, is like you want to be in two man to defend, because a two man is going to help you defend the pass, but
Yeah,
um what's
that's
going to
rough
kill
against
two
mobile
man is
quarterbacks. Scrambles.
what's going to kill two man is scrambles,
Scrambles.
right? So
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got to try to what can you do to fix that problem? And I think I brought to you was what
And real quick,
Georgia
if you
did.
don't know what two-man is, that's man-to-man coverage with two deep safeties. Two deep safeties, man-to-man coverage underneath. That's what it is. It's very difficult to throw against that look. Can't
Right.
go deep. Everyone's covered underneath. It's really hard.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what the main beater is for that, it's the scrambling quarterback, because he just waits for the lanes to develop, and then there's nobody looking at him. The only ones that can see him are the safeties that are 15, 20 yards down the field
Niner
covering wide
fans, just
receivers.
think Colin Kaepernick. There's a reason he didn't get much man-to-man coverage. It's because no one could spy him, no one could catch him. Yes.
Yeah. So I gave you a link to the Georgia video. I think
That was great.
was it probably two
Yeah.
weeks ago. And what Georgia likes to do is they now remember they're a base 3-4 defense. So
Yeah.
what they like to do is they're gonna still rush. They're gonna rush four, but they're gonna pick their fourth rusher, and he's gonna be what they call a mirror spy.
Mm.
So he's mirroring the quarterback, and then he's going to, it's like a delayed
Attack him.
blitz almost.
Yeah.
Is best.
So
Yeah,
he's not
gonna
like hanging back doing nothing.
Yeah, he's not gonna wait for he's not gonna wait
Yeah.
for the quarterback. He's gonna wait till he sees the lane develop, and then he's gonna go attack the quarterback. So essentially what they're doing is they have a spy. They have a spy, but it's an aggressive spy. They're
Mhm.
rushing. They're still able to rush four, and then play their two man under on the back end. And I think that could be a viable solution. Now the 49ers are not a base 3-4, so they're going to have to do something a little different to get to that, right? So they could potentially play they could play. I know they don't like it. They might not like it, but you could potentially play three down, and then you're added. Fred Warner does a good job of rushing, so Fred could be your other rusher, and then you could get Greenlaw and him at the field at the same time. I think in spot duties, I think Ebelcom can be a capable. I wouldn't want him to do it full time, but he could be in spot times. I think he could be a spy on a quarterback. I wouldn't, especially in this capacity where it's like a delayed add-on. So I think that's a viable solution. You'd have to I don't bastardize it a little bit, but I think it's a viable solution.
Hold on. There's another one that I saw that in that video
Go
that I
ahead.
thought was really cool too. There was another solution where they rush four, but you take the left defensive end and you have them rush inside, sort of collapsing the pocket and forcing the scramble to the outside. Then you have a fifth rusher add on that just keying on that. I mean, that was pretty clever too. I'm sure there are ways to beat it, but that might be effective once or twice a game.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I like
I don't
that.
think, especially against these higher level quarterbacks like Mahomes or something, like you don't want to do, because he can. You don't want to do
Yeah.
the same thing over and
Sure.
over again. You gotta be able to mix it up. So you probably need a couple different solutions.
Yeah.
That's why, I think you had brought it up before. Just okay, close down the lanes, bring pressure. However, some of these mobile quarterbacks can process and make throws,
That's true.
which if
Yeah.
you just send guys at Mahomes, he's gonna find
No,
guys
that's not
open.
what you want to do against Mahomes. No, it's not going to get it done. No.
Right.
No.
The same things about Josh Allen.
This is more
right?
effective against like Justin Fields or something like that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Kyler Murray.
especially
Yeah.
especially with the Niners, where you're talking about the Niners need to, and I think we're going to get into this later, but they need to protect their guys on their back end, especially Hafanga. So
Yeah.
the more you start bringing pressure, the more you leave him exposed.
That's true. That's true. Let me just say
that's-
something real quick. I think there are little tweaks the Niners can do to defend mobile quarterbacks. And look, I've talked about this with Robert Saleh on the phone a lot. And his philosophy with this was once the quarterback breaks the pocket, you're screwed. Pretty much. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but like, man, I mean, whether you got a spy or whatever, like, you're at his mercy at that point. So the whole thing is keeping him in the pocket.
Keep him in the pocket.
Keep him in the damn pocket. So when I was watching that, you watched the Niners game against the Raiders, there's that play where Stidham breaks the pocket to his left and throws to Devontae Adams, and he's uncovered, and it's a 66-yard touchdown. It's like, well, Talanoa probably should have plastered on him and shouldn't have. Okay, but really, the play broke down when Nick Bosa rushed too far upfield and just gave up the huge B gap for Stidham to run through. So what Saleh would say in that situation is they lost when the DN rushed upfield. You got to not do that. And they won the game when Nick Bosa had that beautiful bull rush, didn't give up the B gap, hit and caused the deflection. So it seems to me that this wide 9, you're sort of encouraging the defensive ends to rush too far upfield, and like an obvious weakness for the wide 9 is the quarterback scramble through the B gap. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's built. The weakness is built into that defense. It's built into the wide 9. It's built into Chris Kaceric's philosophy of being just an aggressive, having an aggressive defensive line. I mean,
that's a super good philosophy against a stationary quarterback, but against a mobile quarterback, it's like almost inviting him to destroy you.
Yeah, but even going back to Saleh, right? What does Saleh say? What was his philosophy? It was all gas, no brakes.
Right. Right.
And maybe to defend mobile quarterbacks, you need a little brakes, right? You need a little bit of brakes. But like, I think when you're going back to the Georgia.
To his credit, though, his final year when he didn't have Bosa, I thought he did a lot better, like bringing 5-man pressure. But he did have Jason Verrett. That being said, the Niners have Travarius Ward. Seems like there are things you could do. Yeah.
For sure. And definitely things you can do against the lower tier end, like the guys that use him, Kyler Murray and things like that. I think an instance where you just brought up was Bosa rushing too far outside. If you did do like the mirror spy in that instance, you could have a Fred Warner or a Greenlaw add on late. As soon as he sees that open beat, go.
Yep.
I mean, hell, in certain spots, Jimmy Ward could do it.
Yep. I love it. Yeah.
Mix it up.
I mean, if a quarterback sees the B gap open up like that, he's going to take it every time. Every time. You don't even have to run past the line of scrimmage, but if you step up, all of a sudden you're extending the play, and So
I mean, Jimmy Ward, you can mix it up. Jimmy Ward can do it. Jimmy Ward can do it. Greenlaw can do it.
Right. But again, that's a fifth add-on rusher. And what I'm just saying is, when you're defending a stationary quarterback, you want to rush 4, especially if you have good 4 rushers. But if you're defending a mobile quarterback, I like rushing 5 in different ways, because you take away that fifth gap. You take away that scramble lane, theoretically.
I think, but I think the kind of what that Georgia video, what they're getting at is, it's kind of like 2-gapping. You're doing the same thing where you're saying you're taking away all the gap, but it's a 2-gap because you're waiting for the
offense
quarterback
to
declare, and then you're taking the gap.
Yep.
So
I like it.
They're kind of getting the best of both worlds. I think for the Niners to run it, they would have to, like I said, bastardize a little bit. They would have to drop.
Right.
They would have to put a defensive end on a back, or
which they do sometimes.
They do.
But if they're not willing to make wholesale changes like this, they could just start with telling their DNs to stop rushing past quarterbacks who can move a little bit. And that includes freaking Jared Stidham. I don't know if that includes – they don't have to really worry about Kirk Cousins in the play. Kirk Cousins.
No. They'll eat.
You don't have to worry about him. And that's why they eat Kirk Cousins' lunch. Another thing is, do you have to worry about Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career? You used to. I don't know anymore. I don't know.
I think
Jalen Hurts, yes. Burrow, I don't know. Josh Allen, yes. Mahomes, yes.
Doesn't it feel like you want to say you don't have to worry about Rodgers, but then the Niners are going to play Rodgers, and then he's going to scramble around and he's going to be like, well.
Okay, I didn't know. Yeah, they just made him look so old in the past, but he did have that one game in the regular season last year where he beat him at Levi. So I don't know. Josh Wyatt says, problem with finding a quarterback in late rounds is only 3 years of team control. Meaning the team has to make a decision after year 2 rather than year 4. No, you got 4 years of team control. It's 3 years on the undrafted free agents, 4 years on rounds 2 to round 7, and the 5th-year option is the first-round pick. That's why I think they took Purdy. I think they wanted to sign him as an undrafted free agent, but I think that they felt that there would be a bidding war for him, and you'd only get 3 years. So just take him in round 7, and you get 4 years for him. Check it out. Over the cap, I think it's 4 years they get Purdy, which is good news.
And he's like dirt cheap.
Dirt.
Yeah. Trey Lance is relatively cheap, right?
Relatively, yeah. This guy's making like $900K.
Yeah.
Which means he doesn't have to be better than somebody. Like, he just allows the team to be freaking Alabama. You know what I'm saying? He allows the team to be that for the next 3 years, which is that's the whole philosophy of the team anyway. Don't be quarterback centric. Yeah. Perfect.